What if I told you that you could read 100 business books, attend dozens of seminars, learn every investment strategy in the world, and still end up broke? What if the real reason most people never get rich has nothing to do with what they know, but everything to do with what is invisibly running their mind right now without them even knowing it? Here is the uncomfortable truth. Two people can sit in the exact same room, learn the exact same strategies, and walk out with completely different results. One builds a fortune, the other stays stuck. The difference is not intelligence, it is not timing, it is not luck. It is something deeper, something most people never even examine. Today, we are breaking down one of the most important books ever written about the psychology of wealth. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by Harv Eker. This is not a book about tactics. This is a book about transformation. And by the time this video is done, you will understand why your financial life looks exactly the way it does, and exactly what you must change to make it different. Stay with me. This one will genuinely alter how you think about money forever. Before we dive in, if you are new here, welcome to Millionaire Playbook, the channel where we do not just talk about success, we break it down so you can actually live it. Every video on this channel is designed to give you real tools, real mindset shifts, and real steps you can apply starting today. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a breakdown that could change your life. Now, let's get into it. Who is Harv Eker and why should you trust him? Harv Eker is not someone who was born rich. He is not someone who inherited wealth or got lucky. He is actually someone who failed repeatedly. He started multiple businesses in his 20s. Every single one struggled. He had what he called Loch Ness Monster disease. He had heard about profit, but he never actually saw it. He was so broke at one point that he moved back into his parents' basement for the third time. Then a friend of his father gave him one piece of advice that changed everything. He said, "Harv, rich people think in very similar ways. If you thought the way rich people think and did what rich people do you believe you could become rich too?" That single question sent Eker on a years-long deep dive into the psychology of money. He studied how wealthy people think, how they act, what beliefs they hold, and how they see the world. He applied everything he learned to a new business, a retail fitness store, and in just 2.5 years, he opened 10 locations and sold half the company for $1.6 million. Since then, using these exact same principles, he's built multiple successful businesses and become a multi-millionaire many times over. His conclusion? It's not the strategy that separates the rich from the poor, it's the mindset. Part 1. Your Money Blueprint. Let's start at the foundation. Eker introduces what he calls the money blueprint. Think of it like the thermostat in your home. Air rushes in. Eventually, the temperature will come right back to 72 degrees. The thermostat will always win. Your subconscious mind works exactly the same way with money. You have an internal financial setting, a number, a pattern, a way of being around money that was installed in you early in life, and no matter what happens on the outside, you will always find a way to return to that setting. This is why lottery winners almost always end up back to their original financial state within a few years of winning. And it's why self-made millionaires, even when they lose everything, tend to build it back relatively quickly. Their internal thermostat is set differently. Eker puts it this way: the only way to permanently change the temperature in a room is to reset the thermostat. Everything else is temporary. So the question is, how is your blueprint formed, and how do you change it? How your blueprint gets programmed. Eker identifies 3 primary sources of your financial conditioning. The first is verbal programming. What did you hear about money when you were growing up? Did you hear things like, money is the root of all evil, or we can't afford that, or rich people are greedy? These statements, repeated over and over throughout childhood, get stored in your subconscious as truth. They become the default program that runs your financial life, often without you even knowing it.
Eker shares a powerful example. A man named Stephen was earning over $800,000 a year. He'd been doing so for 9 years. Yet he had a net worth of exactly zero. He was always broke. It turned out that as a child, his mother constantly said that rich people are greedy and that you should only have just enough to get by. His subconscious was so committed to that belief that every dollar he earned beyond basic survival was unconsciously spent, lost, or given away. The second source of conditioning is modeling. What did you see your parents do with money? We learn by observation. If your parents were spenders, there's a strong chance you became a spender. If they lived with financial anxiety, that anxiety may have transferred to you. If they believed that money always runs out, guess what you believe? Eker shares that his own father had an extreme pattern of boom and bust, times of great success followed by times of deep financial struggle. This cycle repeated throughout his childhood, and without realizing it, he repeated the exact same pattern in his own early career, making money, losing it, making it again, losing it again, until he finally recognized the pattern and traced it back to its source. The formula Eker teaches is this: your programming leads to your thoughts lead to your feelings lead to your actions, and your actions lead to your results. In short, if you want different results, you need different programming. The 4 steps to change your blueprint. Eker outlines 4 essential steps to reprogram your financial blueprint. Step 1 is awareness. You can't change what you can't see. The first step is simply to observe your thoughts, your behaviors, your habits, and your emotional reactions around money. Step 2 is understanding. Once you see where your conditioning comes from, whether from your parents, your culture, or specific experiences, you begin to realize that these are not facts. They're just old files, and old files can be replaced. Step 3 is disassociation. You are not your programming. Just because you were taught to fear money doesn't mean fear is who you are. You can observe a belief and choose to let it go. Step 4 is reconditioning. This is where you consciously install new beliefs, new habits, and a new way of relating to money. Part 2 of the book, The Wealth Files, is entirely dedicated to this. Part 2, The Wealth Files. This is the core of the book. Eker identifies 17 specific ways that rich people think and act differently from poor and middle-class people. He calls these the Wealth Files. Let's go through all of them, the most powerful ones in depth, and the rest in sharp, clear language that you can apply immediately. Wealth File number 1. Rich people believe, I create my life. Poor people believe, life happens to me. This is the foundation of everything. Rich people take full responsibility for their financial reality. They don't blame the economy, the government, their boss, their upbringing, or their circumstances. They understand that they're at the steering wheel. Poor people play what Eker calls the victim game, and victims leave 3 clear clues. The first is blame. They're always pointing the finger at someone or something else. The second is justifying. They say things like, money isn't really important anyway, which conveniently explains why they have none. The third is complaining, and here Eker makes a bold statement. When you're complaining, you're focusing on what's wrong, and what you focus on expands. Constant complaining is like a magnet for more bad circumstances. Eker's principle: there's no such thing as a truly rich victim. You can be a victim or you can be rich, but you cannot be both. The action step here is to catch yourself every time you blame, justify, or complain and choose a different response. Ask yourself instead, how did I create this situation and what can I do differently? Wealth File number 2. Rich people play the money game to win. Poor people play to not lose. This is a subtle but massive distinction. Poor people's financial goal is usually survival, just enough to pay the bills. Middle-class people want to be comfortable. Rich people want wealth and abundance, and they set massive goals to match. Eker's insight here is about the power of intention. If your goal is to barely get by, the universe will deliver exactly that, barely getting by. If you shoot for massive wealth, you might not hit exactly that, but you'll land far above where small thinking would have taken you. The action step: write down your real financial goal for income and net worth, not the safe goal, the big one. Then commit to it. Wealth file number 3. Rich people are committed to being rich. Poor people want to be rich. There's a world of difference between wanting something and committing to it. Eker identifies 3 levels. The first is wanting. I'll take it if it falls in my lap. The second is choosing. I have decided I want this. The third is committing. I will do whatever it takes for as long as it takes, and failure is not an option. Most people never reach level 3. They have what Eker calls mixed messages about wealth. One part of them wants to be rich. Another part fears what being rich might mean. What if I lose it all? What if people only like me for my money?
What if I have to work even harder? These conflicting messages cancel each other out and produce confusion instead of results. Eker's powerful point: the number one reason most people do not get what they want is that they do not truly know what they want. They are sending confused signals to the universe and to themselves. The action step? Make a clear, written declaration of your commitment to wealth. State a specific number and a specific date. Tell someone you trust. Make it real. Wealth file number 4. Rich people think big. Poor people think small. Eker introduces what he calls the law of income. You will be paid in direct proportion to the value you deliver to the marketplace. And the key word is quantity. How many people you serve. A trainer who works with 20 people at a time earns far less than one who works with 5,000. A business owner who sells to 100 customers creates far less wealth than one who figures out how to reach 1 million. The size of your income is directly connected to how many people you impact. This is not just about money. Eker believes every person has gifts and talents that exist to be shared with the world. Playing small is not humble. It is a disservice, both to yourself and to the people you could have helped. The action step? Identify your natural gifts and brainstorm ways to multiply the number of people you serve using those gifts. Think leverage, systems, and scale. Wealth file number 5. Rich people focus on opportunities. Poor people focus on obstacles. Rich people see opportunity everywhere. They're solution-focused, action-oriented, and willing to take educated risks. They operate from the belief, it will work because I will make it work. Poor people see obstacles everywhere. They spend so much time preparing for every possible problem that they never actually start. Eker calls this the trap of getting ready, spending months or years preparing for the perfect moment that never comes, while someone else gets in the game, learns as they go, and gets rich. Eker teaches the concept of entering the corridor. You do not need to know everything before you start. You just need to get in the game in any capacity, learn from the inside, and adjust as you go. His own fitness business started because he took a job as a busboy at a pie shop to learn the food industry, and that one decision eventually led him to open one of the first retail fitness stores in North America. The action step? Identify one project or opportunity you have been reading to start. Start it now, even in a small way. Action always beats inaction. Wealth file number 6. Rich people admire other rich and successful people. Poor people resent them. This one might sting a little. If you look at wealthy people and feel jealousy, envy, or resentment, if you assume they must have cheated or been lucky or somehow corrupt, then you are creating a massive internal barrier to your own wealth. Think about it simply. If you believe rich people are bad and you want to be a good person, then how could you ever allow yourself to be rich? Eker's principle, drawn from ancient Hawaiian wisdom, is this: bless that which you want. When you see someone with a beautiful home, bless them and the home. When you see someone driving a luxury car, bless them and the car. When you admire and celebrate others' success, you are programming your mind to attract that same success into your life. The action step? Whenever you feel resentment towards someone's success, catch it and consciously shift to admiration. Tell yourself, if they can do it, so can I. Wealth file number 7. Rich people associate with positive, successful people. Poor people associate with negative or unsuccessful people. Your environment shapes you more than you realize. Research shows that most people earn within 20% of the average income of their 5 closest friends. If everyone around you is broke and negative, that energy will drag you down no matter how hard you try to rise. This is not about being shallow or abandoning people who are struggling. It is about being intentional. Seek out mentors, read biographies of highly successful people, join communities where wealth and growth are the norm. And if someone close to you is deeply negative, Eker's advice is clear. Do not try to change them. Be the model. Shine your light. And if the negativity is truly holding you back, make the courageous decision to reduce your exposure. The action step? Read a biography of a great entrepreneur or wealthy visionary this month. Study their mindset, not just their strategies. Wealth file number 8. Rich people are willing to promote themselves and their value. Poor people think negatively about selling and promotion. If you believe in what you offer, your product, your service, your talent, then hiding it from the world is not modesty. It is a disservice to everyone who needs it. Eker puts it directly. Rich people are almost always excellent promoters. They're passionate and enthusiastic about their value. Great leaders are great communicators and salesmen. If you cannot sell your vision, you cannot lead. If you cannot lead, you will remain a follower, and followers earn far less than leaders. If you have a negative association with selling or promotion, examine where that belief came from. Is it really yours, or is it an old script from someone else's fear? The action step? If you rate your belief in your own product or service at less than a 7 out of 10, either improve the product or find something you genuinely believe in. Then share it boldly. Wealth file number 9. Rich people are bigger than their problems. Poor people are smaller than their problems. Here's one of Eker's most memorable frameworks. Imagine a scale from 1 to 10. If you're a level 2 person looking at a level 5 problem, it feels massive. But if you've grown yourself to a level 8 person, that same level 5 problem feels small. And if you're a level 10, it barely registers. The problem never changed. You changed. This is why personal growth is not optional. It's the strategy. The bigger you become on the inside, the smaller your problems feel on the outside. Poor people avoid problems. They run from challenges, choose jobs with no responsibility, and do anything possible to stay in their comfort zone. Meanwhile, the rich understand that problems are the price of playing the game, and they grow themselves to handle bigger and bigger challenges over time. The action step? The next time you face a difficult problem, resist the urge to make it smaller. Instead, ask yourself, how do I need to grow to handle this effectively? Then, focus on your growth, not the problem. Wealth file number 10. Rich people are excellent receivers. Poor people are poor receivers. This might be the most emotionally packed wealth file in the book. Eker argues that the number one reason most people don't reach their financial potential is simply they can't receive. Why? Because deep down, most people feel unworthy. They were told no more than yes growing up. They were punished for mistakes. They built an inner story that they're not good enough to deserve great wealth. And here's Eker's bold challenge to that belief. Worthiness is a made-up story. Nobody stamped worthy or unworthy on your forehead at birth. You made that decision, and you can make a different one. He also challenges the popular belief that it's better to give than to receive. For every giver, there must be a receiver. If you refuse to receive, you deny others the joy of giving to you. Giving and receiving are two sides of the same coin, equally important, always in balance. The action step? Practice receiving gracefully. When someone gives you a compliment, simply say thank you and resist the urge to deflect it or return it immediately. Let yourself receive it fully. This is how you strengthen your receiving muscle. Wealth file number 12. Rich people choose to get paid based on results. Poor people choose to get paid based on time.
Trading time for money has a fundamental ceiling. There are only so many hours in a day. Rich people break through that ceiling by getting paid based on what they produce, through owning businesses, earning commissions, building profit-sharing arrangements, or investment income. Eker's key principle here is never have a ceiling on your income. If your current compensation structure caps how much you can earn, regardless of how well you perform, you are capping your potential. He also strongly advocates for owning your own business, not just for the income potential, but for the tax advantages and the ability to build something that generates value beyond your direct involvement. The action step? If you are currently a salaried employee, explore ways to introduce a performance-based component to your pay. If you already own a business, make sure at least part of your structure is tied directly to results. Wealth file number 12. Rich people think both. Poor people think either or. Poor people operate from scarcity. They believe they must choose between money and happiness, between success and family, between financial freedom and meaningful work. Rich people reject that false choice. The question Eker teaches his students to ask is, how can I have both? This single question can unlock enormous creativity and possibility. Instead of accepting limitations as fixed, you start looking for the third option, the one that gives you everything you actually want. Eker is living proof. He built extreme wealth doing work he loves while maintaining a strong family life and giving generously to charitable causes. Not one or the other, all of them. The action step. The next time you face an either-or decision, write down both options and then brainstorm at least 3 ways you could have both. Train your brain to seek abundance rather than accept limitation. Wealth file number 13. Rich people focus on their net worth. Poor people focus on their working income. Most people judge their financial success by how much money comes in each month. But the true measure of wealth is net worth, the total value of everything you own minus everything you owe. Eker breaks net worth into 4 factors. First, income, what you earn from work or business. Second, savings, what you keep from what you earn. Third, investments, how well your money grows over time. Fourth, simplification, reducing your cost of living so you need less to sustain financial freedom. Poor people focus almost exclusively on the first factor and ignore the other 3. As a result, they can earn a good income their entire lives and still retire with nothing. Many high-earning doctors, lawyers, and executives fall into this trap. The action step. Calculate your net worth today. Write down every asset you own and every debt you owe. Then track it every 90 days. Eker's principle, where attention goes, energy flows, and results show. Wealth file number 15. Rich people manage their money well. Poor people mismanage their money. This is one of the most practical and actionable sections in the entire book. Eker's central point is simple. Until you show the universe you can handle what you have, you will not be given more. He tells the story of a child who drops a single scoop of ice cream. You would not immediately give that child a triple scoop because they have not yet demonstrated they can handle 1. The universe works the same way with money. Eker teaches a specific money management system with 6 accounts. 50% goes to your necessities account, rent, food, bills. 10% goes to your financial freedom account. This is never spent, only invested. This is the account that will eventually fund your retirement and passive income. 10% goes to your play account, spent entirely every month on things that make you feel rich and nurtured. 10% goes to your long-term savings account. 10% goes to your education account, and 10% goes to your give account. The brilliance of this system is that it creates balance. You save aggressively, but you also play aggressively. You invest in your future, but you invest in your joy too. And by tracking and managing money consistently, you develop the habit and the identity of someone who is financially responsible, which opens you to receiving far more. The action step. Open a separate bank account today and label it your financial freedom account. Put 10% of every dollar you earn into it from this day forward. Never spend it, only invest it. Wealth file number 15. Rich people have their money work hard for them. Poor people work hard for their money. Working hard is important, especially in the beginning, but working hard alone will never make you wealthy. The rich understand that the goal is to eventually have money working for you instead of you working for money. This is the concept of passive income. Passive income is money that comes in without your direct ongoing labor. It can come from investments in stocks or real estate. It can come from owning a business that operates without your daily involvement. It can come from royalties, licensing, rental properties, or any number of other vehicles. Eker's definition of financial freedom is this: the ability to live the lifestyle you desire without working or relying on anyone else for money. You achieve financial freedom when your passive income exceeds your expenses. The action step. Begin studying passive income vehicles immediately. Choose at least one that aligns with your skills and interests: real estate, dividend investing, online business, network marketing, rental income, and begin building it alongside your current work. Wealth file number 16. Rich people act in spite of fear. Poor people let fear stop them. Eker makes a critical point here. The difference between rich and poor is not the absence of fear. Rich people feel fear too. The difference is that rich people act anyway. Most people wait until they feel confident, ready, or certain before they take action. But confidence does not come before action. It comes because of action. You build courage by doing the thing you are afraid to do. The more you act despite fear, the more you trust yourself, and the more your results build the evidence that you are capable. The rich do not eliminate fear from their lives. They normalize it. They expect it as part of the game and move through it rather than around it. The action step. Identify one financial action you have been avoiding because of fear: a conversation, an investment, a business decision. Schedule it for this week. Do not wait for the fear to go away. Move through it. Wealth file number 17. Rich people constantly learn and grow. Poor people think they already know. This is the final wealth file, and perhaps the one that holds everything else together. Rich people are perpetual students. They invest consistently in their own education, in books, seminars, mentors, coaching, and new experiences. They know that their ability to earn and grow is directly connected to who they are becoming. Poor people often resist new ideas. They say things like, "I already know that," or "that does not work for people like me." This attitude is fatal to growth. Eker's own journey began with a simple shift, going from "I know everything" to "there's something I don't know." That one pivot changed the entire trajectory of his life. The action step. Commit to reading or listening to at least one educational book per month this year. Invest in at least one seminar or course that stretches your thinking. Your education is not an expense. It's the highest return investment you will ever make. Part 6. Key mindset shifts, bringing it all together. Let's pause and absorb the depth of what Eker is really teaching in this book. The central insight is this: your outer world is always a reflection of your inner world. The money in your bank account, the relationships in your life, the opportunities that find you, all of it begins on the inside. Fix the inside and the outside will change. Eker's formula is simple. Thoughts lead to feelings, feelings lead to actions, and actions lead to results. But the programming behind your thoughts was installed by other people, your parents, your culture, your experiences, before you were old enough to choose differently. You inherited a financial blueprint you never consciously selected. The radical realization is this: you are not your programming. You are the one who can observe the programming, evaluate it, and choose to change it. And the moment you take that kind of ownership over your own mind, your financial life begins to shift. Rich people think differently. They are solution-oriented, not problem-oriented. They see opportunity where others see obstacles. They celebrate others' success instead of resenting it. They believe in their own worthiness to receive abundance. They play to win, not just to survive. They grow themselves to be bigger than their problems. They manage their money with discipline and invest it with intelligence, and they never stop learning. These are not personality traits you were born with. They are habits, and habits can be built. Part 7. Daily Habits and Implementation Plan. Here's how to apply what Eker teaches, starting today. Every morning, begin with a brief declaration. Speak your intention out loud. I create my financial future. I am committed to wealth. I am an excellent money manager. I am a money magnet. This might feel strange at first. Do it anyway. Throughout the day, monitor your thoughts about money. When you catch a thought that's rooted in scarcity, fear, or resentment, something like, I can never afford that, or rich people are selfish, recognize it as old programming. Don't fight it. Simply notice it and replace it with a richer thought. This week, open your financial freedom account. Put whatever you can into it, even $1. The habit is more important than the amount. This month, calculate your net worth. Write it down. Schedule a date 90 days from now to calculate it again. Begin tracking. Over the next 3 months, identify your passive income vehicle. Research it. Speak to people who are already doing it, and take one small step towards building it alongside your current work. Part 8. Powerful Recap and Closing. Let's bring this home. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind teaches us that wealth is not primarily a financial problem. It's a psychological one, and the psychology is shaped by programming that most of us received before we even knew what money was. The good news is that programming can be changed, blueprints can be reset, thermostats can be adjusted, but none of that happens by accident. It requires awareness, commitment, and consistent daily action. Here are the most powerful lessons from this book, condensed into final takeaways.
You create your financial life. No one else is responsible. Victim thinking keeps you poor. Ownership thinking creates wealth. Your income will only grow to the extent that you do. Invest in yourself relentlessly. Rich people think big, act boldly, manage wisely, and grow constantly. Model that behavior and you will produce similar results. The goal is not just to earn more money. The goal is financial freedom. The day when your passive income exceeds your expenses and you never have to work again unless you choose to. And perhaps most importantly, nothing changes until the inside changes. Your bank account is a printout of your mindset. Change the mindset and you change the printout. Harv Eker went from broke and living in his parents' basement to building a multi-million-dollar empire, not because he found the right opportunity, but because he found the right blueprint and had the courage to rebuild himself from the inside out. Now, it is your turn. If this video gave you value, do 3 things right now. First, subscribe to Millionaire Playbook, because we break down books like this every week, and each one is designed to move your life forward. Second, share this video with someone who needs it. You might not know who they are until you think about it, but someone in your life is ready to hear this. Third, take one action today, not tomorrow, today. Open that account, write that declaration, calculate that net worth. Start now. The best time to reset your financial blueprint was years ago. The second best time is right now. We will see you in the next one.